Controversy is heating up ahead of the 2026 Winter Olympics as athletes from Russia and Belarus face new restrictions. The International Ski and Snowboard Federation has voted to block them from competing as neutral athletes in qualification events, effectively barring them from the Games unless a last-minute change occurs. This decision comes despite the International Olympic Committee's earlier statement allowing Russian and Belarusian athletes to compete under a neutral flag, following the precedent set at the Paris Olympics. The ruling has immediate consequences for skiers and snowboarders from both nations, who have already been largely sidelined from international competition since the war in Ukraine began in 2022. Russian figure skaters Adeliia Petrosian and Viktoriia Safonova have managed to secure their spots at the Winter Olympics, but they will still compete under the individual neutral athletes designation, a status that limits their visibility and recognition. The FIS emphasized that while the IOC's neutral pathway exists, each international federation holds the final authority over who may participate in their qualification events. This approach leaves the door slightly open, but for now, Russian and Belarusian athletes in skiing and snowboarding will not be part of the Olympic qualification process. This development contrasts sharply with recent moves in other sports. Last month, the International Paralympic Committee lifted partial suspensions, allowing Russian and Belarusian athletes to compete under their own flags at the Winter Paralympics and other World Parasport events. The Winter Paralympics are scheduled for March, shortly after the Olympics, highlighting a striking difference in policy between able-bodied and para-athlete competitions. The debate over participation has drawn attention not only to geopolitics but also to the integrity and fairness of Olympic competition. Supporters of the FIS decision argue that allowing athletes from countries involved in ongoing conflicts could undermine the Games' reputation, while critics point out the challenges for athletes who have trained for years to reach this stage. The IOC previously set a framework for Russian and Belarusian athletes to compete under strict conditions, ensuring they are unaffiliated with their national federations and compete without national symbols. The FIS's vote, however, signals that even neutral participation may not be enough to satisfy the governing body's standards in skiing and snowboarding. As the Games approach, questions remain: will there be any late reversals, and how will this ruling impact the field in Milan and Cortina? Fans and athletes alike are watching closely, as the Winter Olympics promise high-stakes competition, but with unprecedented political and regulatory challenges shaping the start line. The decisions made now could set a precedent for international sport for years to come, making the 2026 Winter Games a test not only of skill but of global sporting governance.